Yo, what's good? What's good? Hope y'all doing well. I'm gonna talk about Hezekiah, King Hezekiah, King H. We call him that. For me, Second Chronicles, chapter 32, verse 31. I feel like highlights a very important thing that's in the character of God. Is that so sometimes we might like the feeling, the joy, right, that you get from God, like the Holy Spirit. If you follow Christ, you know that feeling. That it's almost euphoric sometimes. And I don't want to compare it to like drugs because it's drugs that's trying to imitate that feeling we get from the Holy Spirit. Like, but we can't get caught up in like chasing that feeling. Right, that feeling of just joy, it's unexplainable. I can't put into words that feeling. If you know that feeling, you know that feeling. But sometimes he doesn't want us to keep, chasing that feeling. Like you're not going to him for that feeling, because then you're chasing after that feeling and not chasing after him. That can be that's disingenuous. It's like if I'm with a homeboy, or I guess even with a romantic relationship, and you just want to be with that person for that feeling and not for that person. That's day room. That's fake. Feel me? Like that's not. And I've had that happen to me, where I would feel right. Holy Spirit, God, remove, like, not abandon me, but remove, like, that feeling. And sometimes I couldn't feel that feeling. And there was times where I really, like, wanted that feeling because I was feeling so distraught. I was feeling so, whatever situation was happening, and I wanted to feel that presence, the presence of the Lord. Sometimes you just you couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel it. And in that moment, I remember one moment, I was like, yo, all I have literally is the word. Just the word. Sometimes that's all I have. I don't even have that feeling, that euphoric feeling. And I was okay with that. Because I had to learn that I'm not chasing that feeling. That's not, that's not what this whole thing is. This whole walk with him is not about that feeling, that euphoric feeling, I'm not chasing the high, because he's not a drug. He's the living God, like, feel me? Like, and I bring up King Hezekiah, right? Second Chronicles, chapter 32, verse 31. I'm saying that so you guys, whoever's watching this, can go directly to that verse, right? King Hezekiah, he was, right? He was walking with the Lord, walking according to the books of the law and the books of Moses, the commandments, walking that walk, right? With the Holy Spirit, with Jesus, right? And like it says at the end of that verse, that God left him to himself so he could see that what's in his heart. Meaning God withdrew himself, not abandoned, withdrew himself to see, to really test King Hezekiah's heart, your heart posture, right? Because when we're chasing after God's heart, we ultimately trying to have a heart like his. So we see verses, I want to say Jeremiah 17, that above all things, right, the most deceitful thing there is right here, the heart. Feel me? That's the most wicked thing in us, is the heart. And the world is going to be like, yo, follow your heart. When the word says the exact opposite. To not. Because that's the worst thing you can do. Because it's wicked, it's deceitful. And until we're born again, only God can give you that new heart of replace that heart of stone with a heart of flesh. But the main thing about this vid, what I'm saying is sometimes God is going to let you be to test yourself, right? Your faith is nothing if it's not tested. Like, I mean, if I'm walking with the teacher the whole time through the test, you know, could I really perform the same way in the test if the teacher wasn't there? Like, everybody's gonna get 100, right? If I had a teacher right next to me telling me the answers. But if I didn't have him in the room and I had to stone cold answer the questions, no chat GPT, no nothing, feel me? Would I pass the test with 100? So God doesn't leave us to like see if we're gonna fail. Sometimes we might fail because we didn't put in the work. And sometimes we will succeed. So God's showing you, hey, look how much stronger you're getting. All those trials and tribulations is to test you, is to make you stronger, so that when you're on your own, you got this. And you keep leveling up. And I'm gonna be right there with you, trying to help you get to the next level. Not many understand this. You know what I mean? King Hezekiah, like, especially when you read all the books, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, the Chronicles, these are history books going over the kings, many kings. And most of them, they couldn't walk the walk. Like, nobody was ever really able to fully, you know, walk exactly like Jesus. I mean, Jesus didn't even come yet, but that's why he was gonna come at the time that he came, because nobody was able to fulfill the law. Right? He's the standard and he's the judge. So you wanna judge the law, the rules, or whatever. The judge is gonna be like, hey, but I did it. I'm the standard and the judge. Jesus will judge the living and the dead. He set the standard and he's the judge. Right? But if you fall, right, his atonement, right, that right there is the source to life. That right there is everything, right? That sacrifice of Jesus. He is the true vine, we are the branches, right? John chapter 15 verse 5, without him we're nothing, absolutely nothing. But he is life itself. It could sound like a broken record sometimes when you hear that same idea of the gospel, but the gospel is fractal. By fractal, I mean it's the same message. God gave his only son so that the world, right, will be saved. But it's fractal, meaning no matter how much you zoom out, zoom in, it's the same message. But it can be zoomed in, zoomed out, and it can be applied in so many different perspectives in your life. Like, it's for a non-believer, it's just papers on the word. But when it's truly applied and you see all this through the lens that he gives you, once the veil is lifted over you, only God can explain the things of God, right? So obviously it's gonna be natural for you to not understand it at first. If you keep trying this, because this faith thing, it does take practice. It takes experience, time, patience, right? Sometimes you'll be like, I thought I heard God's voice, but I guess I didn't. Bro, you have to keep at it every day. Right? It's a lifestyle. My friends told me that. Remember, I'm not gonna get into that, but it's a lifestyle. It's every day, right? It's not, oh, he's my Lord on Monday, but on Tuesday, no, every single day you shall love him with your whole heart, your whole mind, and your whole soul. Who would want to do that? Only somebody that truly believes that he is worthy of that, right? I live like that because I don't think he deserves anything less than full worship, right? I want to. My spirit wants to do that. And the flesh can get in the way. But if you submit to the spirit, like, the flesh has to submit. I hope y'all stay blessed, prayed up, feel me? And get in that word.